Hi, I'm Craig Rowland, founder of Sandfly Security. In today's video, we're going to show you how to add hosts to Sandfly's agentless intrusion detection and incident response platform for Linux. It's very easy to do, and it's the fastest deployment in the industry. One of the more interesting things about our product is the fact that we are agentless. So as a result, we do not need to leave anything permanently running on an endpoint. This greatly adds to the compatibility and visibility that we can provide to your Linux fleet and means we work on Intel, AMD, ARM, MIPS, IBM POWER, and IBM S390 CPUs. So not only traditional servers can we monitor, but also legacy devices, embedded devices, network devices such as Cisco and Juniper gear, plus a lot more. So let's go ahead into the console. I'll show you how quick and easy we can do this. For today's demonstration, though, we're going to do a bit of an install that's going to show you some of the flexibility of Sandfly. And one of the things we're going to do first is we're going to use a jump host in today's configuration. Now, obviously, a lot of customers run protected segments. Sandfly could deploy scanning nodes inside those protected segments to communicate to the server. But today, we're going to use a jump host that's going to allow us to jump into those protected segments just as easily. We have a lot of different configurations, so please check our docs out online at docs.sandflysecurity.com, and that'll explain a lot of how this works. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a credential. The credential management in Sandfly is handled by our product that we can encrypt the key in such a way that if the database is compromised, it cannot be recovered again. The other thing we can do is we can actually use an external credential provider if you want us to, which means we could tie into your own credential manager, pull over keys as needed to do the authentication, and then throw them out at the end and then grab a new key next time we log in. But the main thing here is if you need that type of integration, please contact us and we could go ahead and help you through that whole process. We also offer traditional username and password. We do not recommend this mode of logging in because if the remote system is controlled by an attacker, they could actually grab the password used during that login. This is not unique to Sandfly. This is a generally widely known vulnerability in SSH that the password is not encrypted. If the remote system is compromised, that the attacker can grab it. But we understand some customers still need to use that mode. We offer that for you. We also offer the ability to generate a public key for you on the fly. Now, this is really cool because that means that we control the SSH private key, we encrypt it, it's never shown to the operator. So you can have us generate that public private key pair. The private key is kept private to us inside of our server. The public key is then shown to the operator. You can then copy that onto your remote host, and that private key is never exposed to the outside world. For today's demonstration, we're going to use a private key. I'm going to call it sample key 2. We're going to log in with sample user in this case. I'll paste in my private key down here. We can use a private key passphrase if we want. We can also use a key certificate. So we use SSH certificates. Generally, that's being used in some of our more advanced users, advanced enterprise users. They'll use certificates, but we do support that. We also support a pseudo password. The last option here is for the integrity management signing. This is generally used for platforms that have IMA enabled. Currently, right now, we typically run into this on the Juniper Evolved OS for their Juniper networking gear. We need to have a signing key for that. But for now, we're going to keep that turned off. That's not needed for today's demonstration, and I'm going to hit finish. Now at that point, I have two keys down here, sample key and sample key 2. We're going to go ahead now and we're going to add our jump host. Adding a jump host is as simple as just calling it a name. I'm just going to call it jump host. Our IP address is here, or our host name. We're going to use our sample key to log in. SSH port, again, you could set it to a custom value here. We're going to use a default of 22, but you can do a custom value if you want. And we're going to hit finish. Now we have our jump host set up. We have our credentials set up. So let's go ahead and add our hosts. And this is really at this point going to be very easy to do. I'm going to hit the add button up here. We can do an IP host name list, or we could do a net block. So we can actually scan an IP address range with the credentials. We will try to log onto those hosts. And if we can find them, we will add them to the system automatically. This is a really good way to have us look for shadow IT type resources that might be out there that you don't know about. And if we cannot log into the host, but we see an SSH port, you're also going to get an indication that there's something there that's not letting us log in, which again can help you find systems you might not know about. But for today's demonstration, I'm going to paste in my private list of IP addresses. We are using the default port. We are going to go through our jump host down here, and I'm going to hit next. We have an existing key. I'm going to use a sample key. I'm going to hit next. And then I'm going to put in a tag here. I'm just going to call it demo. This option here for override scan directory, this is mainly used if you don't want Sandfly to write our agentless binary into the home user of the Sandfly user. So for instance, if you're running an embedded device that has a write limited volatile memory, you might not want a lot of write operations happening, for instance, on an SD card. What you can do then is you could direct Sandfly and say, for instance, write it to the dev shm RAM disk directory, in which case will only work in RAM and will never touch the disk. So you can read about some of this advanced features. But for now, we're going to leave that as is, and I'm going to hit finish. At this point here, I'm going to go to my task queue. We're connecting these systems over SSH. We're then going to assess what they are. And at that point, once we determine what those systems are, they're going to be registered and then ready to go for the rest of the Sandfly scanning process. And that's it. In those few seconds that I was talking, these systems have been added. You can see here we have some Debian, Fedora, and Ubuntu hosts. You can actually go down here to our reports. You can see as well what those hosts are. But the thing is, we didn't ask you about the kernel version. We didn't ask you about the CPU or anything. It was just instantly we figured out and it's ready to go. If those systems are patched, we don't care. Unpatched, we don't care. Legacy, don't care. Modern, don't care. On-prem, don't care. In the cloud, we don't care. We're going to find those systems for you, figure it out for you, and in a few seconds, that's it. You're ready to run Sandfly on your systems and start protecting those Linux assets immediately. So that's how you add hosts to Sandfly. Please go ahead, contact us with any comments or questions. We're happy to help you out. And check out our other videos where we'll go into further operational aspects of the product, tell you how to scan the system, do schedules, and other things like that. So I'm Craig Rowland from Sandfly Security. Thanks again for watching the video. Check out our other videos on our channel, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks again. Bye.